Joining us now to break it all down, Executive Director of the ACLJ and member of President Trump's personal legal team, Jordan Sekulow. Good morning to you, Jordan. So break it down for us. Day one, what, nearly half or more than half, I guess, of the jurors just dismissed because, of course, they're biased because we are in New York City where 88% of the city voted for Biden in 2020.
This was interesting because the judge, instead of asking the question, which is probably right, are you a Republican or a Democrat? Are you plan to vote for President Trump or President Biden? They didn't even need that specific of a question in New York. It was basically, do you feel like you have such strong feelings for or against President Trump that you can't be a good juror, fair juror? And that's how you start losing a massive amount of potential jurors, which will be interesting to see. Usually this takes, you could get it done in a couple of weeks, sometimes shorter than that. But again, remember, President Trump has to be there. And so this is time off the campaign trail.
Yeah, we're not talking about a murder trial, Jordan, or some serious felony. In fact, this is at best a misdemeanor that for whatever reason has been elevated to a felony, even though the statute of limitations expired, 2 years ago, I think. Yesterday, the judge indicated that he's not going to allow Trump to go to his son Barron's high school graduation on May 17th. How unusual is that?
Very unusual when you're talking about a nonviolent crime and what you just went through, which is also a novel charge. This would usually be a misdemeanor, even all 34 counts of misdemeanors. That would be pled out to probably some a small penalty, actually, in consideration of some of these other cases going on against President Trump. But they're treating him, like you said, Rob, they're treating him like a murderer. It's like, those are the kind of people that don't get out to go to those kind of special events during a trial while they are still considered to be innocent until proven guilty. And still, he wasn't asking to hit the campaign trail. He was asking to attend that graduation. And still the judge, I think right there shows that the partisan just nastiness of this idea that we can use the legal system, we call it lawfare, to take President Trump off the campaign trail and make him spend millions of dollars of his own money or RNC money just to defend himself because he happens to have won the Republican primary again.
Flagrant election interference. I mean, we've never seen this stuff
this
before.
This is election interference 101.
Yep.
Everything about this is unprecedented. Do you see the former president taking the stand in his own defense in this?
You never know. I've been in a lot of discussions with the president about that. Should we do this? It went back to Mueller and our advice and the back and forth there. I think on this case, again, it will just depend on how the legal team feels their situation is going. They're going to be reading the jury specifically. The judge may try to jump in and again, try to keep President Trump quiet on things he doesn't like. But I think ultimately, those decisions are typically made if you feel like you've got the jury kind of right on the edge, but you've got to do something almost spectacular and a little bit dangerous, because once you open him up to that, then, of course, the prosecutors get to use all of their questions. The prosecutors would, in their mind, love it. I want to say, though, taking on President Trump that way verbally may become their worst nightmare if they actually go that route. And I think it will all depend 100% on where they feel the jury stands. Do they have to do something kind of extraordinary, which is put the defendant up to testify?
Jordan, Trump was in the courtroom yesterday for something like 7 hours. And CNN, Jake Tapper, thought it was a good opportunity with Maggie Haber to point out that maybe Trump was sleeping at some point during the trial. We don't know, which is convenient because there are no cameras in that courtroom. Take a listen.
Right.
Trump appears to be sleeping. His head keeps dropping down and his mouth goes slack. Tell us about that.
Well, Jake, he appeared to be asleep, and repeatedly his head would fall down. There have been other moments in other trials, like the Agent Carroll trial, which was around the corner in January, where he appeared very still and seemed as if he might be sleeping.
All right, Jordan, again, the media is so interested if Trump happens to fall asleep. I don't know what happened, but here's an example of Joe Biden falling asleep multiple times, and the media never talks about it. Take a look.
Right.
This is my message from earth to come. On behalf of we the 15, I ask you, please help us.
आपने हमेशा भारत और अमेरिका के संबंधों के महात्म्य को बहुत बड़ा बल दिया है.
And Palestinians together at a political level,
I swear, I might fall asleep. in that situation.
I know, seriously.
But Jordan, the
You're a
media
lullaby.
has lost its mind. They've absolutely lost its mind. Your reaction to that, and then just we're tight on time, but I'm curious what your take was on this 50 questions juror questionnaire and some of these questions, because they can't ask, did you vote for Trump? Did you vote for Biden? So they're like, hey, do you like a guy whose first name starts with D and ends with T? Like, they do everything they can to get around asking that question, because they know all it takes is one juror to ruin all their plans, Jordan.
You guys all know, I mean, President Trump has more energy than most 30-year-olds, and I'd say I'm in my 40s. I say most 40-year-olds, and you can ask any member of his traveling team that as well. But when you get stuck in a dingy courtroom for 7+ hours, and you're just sitting there watching, as you said, the same questions asked over and over and over again, while you got kind of the weight of the world on your shoulders. You're running for president of the United States. You got 4 of these criminal charges against you, so a lot to balance. And the idea that maybe, I mean, he closed his eyes because they're using some other, older photo they have. I mean, it's just absurd. We know who the president is in office right now, who, again, you showed at very high-level meetings, who couldn't keep his eyes open for 2 minutes when he was meeting the president of Israel. That was embarrassing. Yeah. I mean, 7 hours in a courtroom with no cameras. The reports are he's not paying so close attention. I have a feeling he's paying very close attention.
Good point. Good point. Jordan, good to have you on. Something tells me we will see a lot of you over the next several weeks. Jordan Sekulow, thank you very much.
That's good.